lighting up every chakra in your body. The Mooladhara, the Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Atma, Sahasrara. Purifying every chakra. Visualize your heart center getting filled with divine love, overflowing with love and energy, radiating that love and energy throughout the universe. Spreading that love, energy and peace to all living and non-living beings. Sky, water, earth, space, all living beings in water, earth, forest and sky, everybody radiates, receives the radiating energy from your heart. Feel that connectedness with the whole of the universe. Oneness with the universe. At the deepest level, we are all connected. At the deepest level, living, non-living, everything is connected in the form of consciousness. Chaitanya. Experience that overwhelming, radiating bliss. The divine love, the mother, universal mother. Visualize yourself melting in the divine energy inside and outside. All the boundaries melt and the divine love and energy alone remains. See, meditation people call it various names. Okay? Different types of meditations are there. Should not get confused with different types of meditation. Finally, meditation means staying in the thoughtless state of awareness. That is the final stage. But these type of meditations will help purify our vasanas, impressions, accumulated impressions. When we think of oneness, love, compassion, our chitta gets purified. Chitta getting purified is not enlightenment, but chitta getting purified is supporting enlightenment. Without chitta getting purified, the enlightenment is far away. Finally, in the state of enlightenment, there is pure awareness. There is no visualization, nothing. Everything is pure awareness. But to reach the state, a purification is required. Karma yoga, seva, the meditation which I teach you right now, all those things are supported. So meditation with the object, this is the object, divine light is the object. Okay? So that type of meditation helps in purification. Then finally, meditation becomes objectless. So that is actually samadhi. Here is the meditation. It's okay. Questions? So how do you feel about this meditation? You feel the peace inside?
As you said, it was like a samadhi state.
So this peace actually is purification of the heart center. See, what happens is in day-to-day interaction, we have so much of struggle. Somebody hates us, somebody likes us, somebody dislikes us. So that all accumulates in this center. So normally what we do is we take a daily physical bath, but the deep inside that impurity remains, what is left by the world. So this type of meditation helps in removing that, flushing out that impurity. So as you reach a state of pure awareness, all visualization will drop. No more required. Okay. But then till that time you need that. Finally everything drops. Okay, so then somebody will come and no, meditation is being thoughtless, you don't have thought, visualization is wrong. Please they don't understand what meditation means. This is a purification meditation, it's a shuddhi, chitta shuddhi.
In this book I am writing, that no sadhana can take us to enlightenment, but it will have a deep impact on the obstacles to enlightenment.
See, the point, what Nisargadatta Maharaj is saying, what I will say, put it in some simple way. Enlightenment is not the result of any sadhana. But without sadhana, enlightenment is not possible.
It will remove the obstacles.
It removes the obstacles. That is the point. Okay? No sadhana will lead to enlightenment because enlightenment is your nature. You cannot achieve it through sadhana. But without sadhana, enlightenment is not possible because sadhana is there only to remove the obstacles, not for attaining. Let us do next meditation. This is what I told is Kundalini meditation, becoming aware of the top of the head and merging with the universal energy. This actually is the process of surrender. The first meditation is the process of divine grace, descending. Second meditation is what we call as surrender. Now when you say surrender, very many people are very happy to surrender their wife, children, or job, or their divine. I surrender. Our promise is surrender. Okay. So this surrender is actually not surrendering something about all these things. Surrendering your total energy. What you are, you have to surrender, not what you have. So there's a lot of confusion people have about the surrender and the sannyasa and all. The whole concept of sannyasa is what you have, surrender. Okay? Real concept of sannyasa is what you are, you surrender. There's a very lot of difference between what you have and what you are. Please understand this definition of sannyasa, I make it very clear. You can't find it in any textbooks. Sannyasa is not surrendering what you have, that you can give it to. But surrendering what you are is called sannyasa. So there may be many people who have surrendered what they have, but they are not surrendered what they are. Then they are not sannyasis, they are samsaris.
Can you explain more about what you are?
So what you are, you can let me understand what you are.
Surrendering Atma, you mean?
No, what you are, you tell me. What else comes to your mind?
I'm a channel of a.
So I am a channel, right? So the channel is the instrument. So there's an identity that I am a channel. That identity has to be decided.
So how do I do that?
Okay, let us say there is a flute in the hands of Krishna. Correct? So now the flute in the hands of Krishna has a place in divine music. Has the flute has any identity? Does the flute say, I am a channel in the hands of Krishna? Huh? You have an identity. That identity you have to surrender. Even an identity that I am a channel is an identity. Then you still you say some independence from the divine. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರಿಗೆ is it understood but difficult to do for whom? But ego is not you. Ego is what you have, but ego is not what you are. So that confusion you should remove. What you are and what you have. Ego is what you have. But then you confuse that ego what you have and say, oh, this is what I am. Then surrender that. So one person came to Buddha. There are a lot of long queue. Many people are standing in the queue. That person was a diamond merchant. Everybody was giving some gift to Buddha, bringing some gift, flower, whatever is that. So this person bought one small diamond. So Buddha laughed, Buddha smiled at him and said, drop it. This guy got confused, so Buddha doesn't accept diamonds. Okay, it's a valuable thing, so he kept that diamond aside. Then he thought people will accept flowers, he got flowers. So then Buddha said, drop it. Now he is confused. Flower is dropped and diamond is dropped. So then when he said, again he says to different them, then drop it also. Then drop what you are holding on to, drop that. You are thinking that it's difficult, that's the ego saying. You are holding on to ego saying that this is my identity. No. It is what you have, it's not what you are. So when you surrender what you are with the divine, then you don't have existence separate from the divine. You have separation from the divine only when you you are holding on to what you have. When you say what I am is Atma, okay, then where is your identity, separation identity? Only when you say I am ego, because I am ego, I am a channel. Because I am ego, I am something. So then you have identity. Let us do another meditation, which is actually total surrender. Sleeping. Okay, sit like this. Or like this. Become aware of your breathing in and out. Become aware of your breathing in and out. As you become aware of your breathing, the mind calms down, because the mind and the breath are two wings of the same one bird, Jivatma. Mind and breath are related to each other like two wings of the bird. Because you become aware of the breath slows down. Mind is Jnana Shakti of Atma. Breath is the Kriya Shakti of Atma. Because you become aware of the breath slows down. When the breath slows down, the mind also slows down. And perhaps you may observe some pauses between the breath. And when that happens, the mind has slowed down or stopped perhaps altogether. The thoughts will reduce. Mind becomes deeply silent. You start feeling deep bliss. This is the bliss of the Atma, the self. The mind experiences the bliss of the self, and the mind is silent. Become aware of that bliss. The bliss is your true nature. Gently and slowly shift your awareness to the top of your head, Sahasrara. To the top of your head, Sahasrara. And become aware of sensation there, gentle movement or sensation there. Become aware of the energy and sensation at the top of the head. aware of the energy, the sensation at the top of the head. Realize that your body, mind and intellect is nothing but pure energy. The top of the head is the center where individual energy meets the universal energy. The Jivatma meets the Paramatma. When that meeting happens, there is oneness. The universal energy, which is pure and fresh, will purify the individual energy. This is actually what is called Kundalini. So all your vasanas and impressions which are accumulated gets flushed because of the universal energy. As an individual, you feel very rejuvenated, fresh, free from deep-rooted impressions, feeling deeply connected with the universe. Feel that oneness, feel that divine energy. I am one with the divine, with that thought, stay there. If any thought comes, remind yourself of your true nature. ನಾನೆಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಸಚಿದಾನಂದಾತ್ಮ ಶಿವನಾನು ನಾನೇ, ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am pure Chaitanya, consciousness. Remind yourself of that nature of yours. Repeat it me. Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, manabuddhi, nanalla, sachidanandatma, shivananani, shivoham, shivoham, shivoham. Slowly open your eyes. You practice this. Okay. This is what is called Shaktipat.
Like coming out of this full 1 hour we can sit with it. That's good.
So all these practices will purify your subtle body called Sukshma Sharira. I have not even come to your causal body called Karana Sharira. This is called subtle body. Sukshma Sharira.
Out of this energy in the heart is called
You can pull there.
lot of sweetness is there. As it has some sweetness and lot of joy.
See, this particular simple practice, people try to do it very hard, difficultly. Okay, there are a lot of yogic practices which specialize in bandhas. Very simple and natural way. I can teach you more complicated ways also, but it's not required. Okay. Some jazzy, complex, technologies for doing that, but it's not required. They are out there for people who don't understand the simple nature of things.
And why it happens only when somebody is guiding you, sir. Like for me, such a so many thoughts come. And somebody is giving instructions so beautiful to do all these practices. That's
Yeah. So that is why it's called grace. Grace is not your doing. Grace is your undoing. Okay? Your self-effort is called sadhana. Okay? Here you don't have to do anything. Just stay in that flow.
the same thing we do it at home. So many things. Small, minute sound also we can get here. Nothing is there.
That's why it requires different, some guided meditation till you are able to hold on to yourself. It's like learning a cycle, right? Initially somebody will have to re-record this. After some time you will do it.
When I chant Om, I can experience the
Right.
same state. But today without Om, very effortlessly.
So now let us do Omkara meditation to raise the individual energy and merge with the universal energy. Right? So the Omkara, as I told you, lower energy, U middle energy, Ma higher energy, merging with the Sasa. Right? Chant it. Stay without the head, stay with awareness that I am not the body, mind or intellect, I am consciousness. Body, mind and intellect are nothing but divine energy. Experience the divine energy at the top of the head. Feel oneness with the universal consciousness. Stay there. ನಾನೆಂಬುದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದಾತ್ಮ ಶಿವನಾನೇ, ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. Slowly open your eyes.
Evening was so good, so today the same experience.
See, if you practice this meditation, okay, regularly, see what you start experiencing universe as not a solid object, but a vibration. This is the phala of this. Everything which looks very solid becomes more fluid. So right now our life is, everything is solid. Our relationships are solid, our friends are solid, our husband is solid, our wife is solid, our job is solid. Gradually realize that everything is liquid. It is a flow, everything. This solidity we are trying to hold on. I want to hold on this solidity, this relationship, this friend, this money. It is not solid. It's a fluid, it's a flow of energy. And because you are trying to hold on to something which is fluid, you are getting hurt. That is the hurt which you feel when some relationship breaks. That is the hurt which you feel when something loose. Understand? Yes, madam. So now let us do something, a small exercise. Okay. Hold your hand like this. Okay. And imagine somebody is standing in front of you and keep punching. Somebody who don't like it. Punch hard.
Move away.
Okay. So start until you feel that person is gone. Punch. Yes, Gayatri, do it. Do. Hit hard.
There's nobody to hit hands, so please.
Now there is no reaction.
Okay. Relax. Okay. So what happens when you do this?
I think we practice this daily.
Huh?
We have to practice this daily.
Okay. So what happens when you do this?
You feel happy.
Huh?
You feel happy.
You feel happy.
There is a clarity
Clarity of what?
that because I have to choose the
Ah.
thing, no? Then once I start diving in,
Huh?
there is a clarity what actually happened
Okay.
in that relationship.
Okay.
It could be my fault also.
Okay. So Rekha, what happened?
ನನಗೆ ನೀವು ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಯಾರೋ ಹಾಕ್ದೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಂತ
Okay. So what happened, Gayatri?
Finish too hard. Hands pain.
Your hands pain.
Now we feel like the thoughts, about that particular individual or body, whatever, just vanished.
actually punching ourselves. Like,
There's nobody. It's only air.
Only mind.
Okay? If you punch air, nothing will happen to anybody. It's only your this bit, right?
What about you?
Huh?
When you really hit, maybe it hurts.
It hurts when your hands get tired, no? Even you are strong.
Bad for hitting
Huh?
someone. You feel bad for hitting someone.
Ah.
Not just air. It's okay.
See, it's all air. Do you realize that universe is like pure air like that? It's just a flow of energy. Okay? It is just fluid. It's nothing solid about it. Okay? But what happens? We solidify that. Somebody hurt us, something happened in our life. That becomes a solidified event in our life. Whereas that's already moved, flowed, it's flown. This understanding will come more and more when you meditate on that. Everything is fluid. So when everything is fluid, you will not get hurt. Okay, okay, something happened now, this moment, this next moment, something else. Right? Otherwise, every event becomes a solid experience in your life. As if you take that event to be real. It's a momentary. Passing, passing, passing. Why are you holding on to that moment? If you are holding on to that moment, that means something wrong with you. You are hurting yourself again and again for something which is already passed on. How many events in your life keep hurting you? Please tell me.
many,
Huh?
many.
That's because you took that event to be solid. It's not. Even that person is fluid. The situation is fluid. Are you the same person who attended my last class? What's your name, madam?
Judge.
You're the same person.
Are you the same person? Are you sure? What about you? What's your name? What's your real name?
Saroj. Because it has become so tough, sir. Please feel that I'm not Pajoti.
What's your real name?
I'm Pajoti only.
See how mind reacts. Okay, so everything is a fluid. There's nothing solid in life. Last time when you came, okay, you are from that time to this time, 2 months or more, I think. Either your body has gained a couple of kgs or lost couple of kgs. Okay, so body has changed, and complete maybe about 100 million cells in your body have changed, died. Yes, sir.
But what about the impact of an event? Like suppose there's an accident and I lose my hands or legs, so that will be with me throughout the. So
On what? For whom?
for the ego, right?
But ego is not you.
Yeah, but it's nice to say. But in the case of an accident, like something.
Now see, please understand, what I am saying is very, very practical. If you say that my leg or hand got cut in accident, I want to, throughout my life I want to cry, I would say do. Nobody stops you. Okay, all that I am saying is be practical. You understand that you are not an ego. I don't have to cry throughout my life. I can, with my leg and hand also gone, still I can be cheerful. I am telling you a methodology by which you can be cheerful. I am not giving you psychological counseling. I am telling you reality. So you can live with reality or you can live with agony.
Yeah, because like someone hurting you, you can treat that as a passing event. But I know.
No, I am saying even this also is a passing event. It has damaged you physically, it's okay. But then still it's deep inside you can be peaceful and handle your life. So that is much more practical, right? In next remaining part of 30 or 40 years of life, still this person can cry throughout his life and cause suffering for himself. I am saying pain has happened, no problem. You don't have to go through suffering. And I am not giving psychological counseling. I say think positively, what are positive things. No, I am saying you understand your real nature. So body apart has gone, fine. But nothing has happened to you. Atma, nothing happens. For small reasons people commit suicide. For small reasons people die. Because they think that anything happening to the body, anything happening in the society is happening to themselves. How many people commit suicide? You keep hearing newspapers, right? Some politicians died, somebody commits suicide. Or some they match, somebody loses and somebody commits, somebody dies. Some examination result you fail the examination, somebody dies. Baba, nothing is happening to you, Atma. Why are you taking all those things to personally? They are all passing events. This politician dies, some other politician will come. Why? That's all happening because you forget that you are Atma, self. You are identifying with something which is non-self. All my teachings, only simple teaching is to become aware that you are Atma. When you are not aware of the Atma, then all this conflict will come. Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta, Advaita, so many philosophies will come into head. Are Baba, all these philosophies are there when you identify the body and mind. When you say I am Atma, what philosophy applies to you? Please tell me. They are all mental, mind level. The real philosophy is understand your true nature. That's all. That's what Shramana Maharshi taught. He didn't get into dragged into so many philosophical systems. He said, know who you are. Finish it.
He's tell them whenever a thought arises, ask for whom the thought is arising.
That I teach you. I'll make it very practical for you. Right? So, did you understand the question whom the thought arises? Did you understand? Who understood?
It's not there.
No, who understood?
There's nothing that it doesn't exist at all.
Thought doesn't exist. Nothing
From the
exists.
perception of the eye.
Okay, so is it clear? So, why are you stuck up or hung up on events in life which are fluid? There may be hurting, there may be damaging events, there may be angry, there may be money, there may be joy. Everything is fluid. Everything is fluid. That you realize as you meditate here. That's the divine energy. So that's why Adi Parashakti is called Maya. Maya Shakti. Okay? As she is also called Durga. Durga means Durgama. Very difficult to cross over. Okay? So same Shakti is called Durgati Nivarani. When the same energy appears as solid, it becomes such a solidity in life. When the same energy appears as fluid, you become free. In the same energy. Durgama, Durgati Vinashana. All both the same. The Maya Shakti, Kundalini Shakti. There are two phases of the same thing. Any questions?
Durga is here or what? Location of Durga in the physical.
No, Durga is Shakti. See, this concept of Shakti and Shiva, the masculine and feminine you would understand. We have masculine, Vishnu, Brahmaji, Shiva. We have feminine, Shakti, Parvati, Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati, right? So if you look at that, these are the ways to represent the universal consciousness to us. The feminine represents the power of consciousness, the masculine represents the consciousness. Okay. Feminine represents the Shakti and masculine represents the Chetana. So to make you understand simply, fire and the power of fire. So how many powers the fire has? Ability to burn, ability to show, give light. Okay? Huh? Heat, burning and light. These are the power of fire. Correct? So these are called Shakti of fire. Who is Shaktiman? Who is Shaktiman?
The attributes are more.
The fire is the Shaktiman. The fire has Shakti called burning, light and what is that? Heat. Right? Shakti and Shaktiman concept. Now remove the power of the fire. Remove the tomorrow, declare that fire has no power to burn. Okay? Fire has no power to light. And then fire has no power to heat. So what happens to fire? Does fire exist? The Shakti and Shaktiman, they are together. They are one aspect of the same reality. Same way, the masculine and feminine aspect of reality is represented as different parts. The masculine represents the consciousness, feminine represents the Shakti. So Brahmaji represents what consciousness? Creative consciousness is called Brahmaji. Creative consciousness requires what are the powers for creativity? What are the powers if you want to create? What is that? The wisdom, the knowledge, the visualization, the creativity, the music, the dance, the song. That is represented by Saraswati, the Shakti. The consciousness is creativity consciousness and the Shakti of that is represented as feminine. So remove Saraswati, Brahmaji doesn't exist. The Shakti and Shaktiman. So what happens is that the consciousness when it's represented as masculine and feminine, we get confused. They start thinking that they are different. They are not. They are only representations there for you to understand the reality. So then there is a Vishnu. What is Vishnu consciousness? Maintenance and sustenance is Vishnu consciousness. Right? So the sustenance requires what? Huh? That's Lakshmi. The wealth, the abundance. Alright? That's Shakti. Suddenly Shakti, Lakshmi goes from Vishnu's life. So we have heard the story that Lakshmi got angry and she came to Tirupati and all. So, what will Vishnu do? No money, no power. The politicians without power, what happened? So, this is what happens. The Shakti and Shaktiman. Then Shiva. What is the consciousness? Shiva consciousness?
Restricted destruction.
Destruction. Okay? So, destruction involves power. Let's say Kali. Kali is the power of time. Kala. Okay? Durga. Right? That's the destructive power. Now the destructive power has also another aspect. What is that? The destruction of ignorance. Ignorance also has to be destroyed. It's a destructive power only. Right? The same power of Shiva called Durga becomes Durgati Vinashini. And the same Shiva becomes Adi Guru. Like that. So this is all play of consciousness. Consciousness represented in various ways. So when that supreme consciousness plays the role of a creative role, then that's called Brahmaji. The power of Brahmaji, which is thinking, knowledge and creativity, is called Saraswati. The same consciousness, okay, when it plays the role of Vishnu, it becomes sustenance consciousness, maintenance. The power of Vishnu becomes Lakshmi. That's why I always say we have a representation, right? Lakshmi is the heart of Vishnuji and Saraswati, Shiva. Parvati is half of Shiva and all. Now we start complex thinking. Like meditate on Vishnu, then somewhere in the heart, Lakshmi is going to sit in. Then the mind says, how can Lakshmi sit there? There's no space there. Okay? So on the heart of Narayana, the Sri Devi and Bhudevi is here. Okay? The Sri Devi and Bhudevi are power of consciousness. Now you start visualizing them sitting there. You can. I'm nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, why is this so? Okay? Okay, then Shiva and Ardhanarishwara. Then start getting confused. Okay, left half is Parvati or right half is Parvati? Left half is Shiva. And when Parvati is standing there, she should have Trishula or something else. So all those confusion will come without understanding principle behind this thought. They are also true as an artistic and sculptural representation. The sculptor has only that way of representing. Whatever these principles are, the sculptor has to represent to some way to you know. How he can represent? He has to represent like that only. But then you don't get confused what he is representing. You understand what the principle behind it. Right? When the Parabrahma takes the form of destructive power, that becomes Shiva or Rudra. The same Parabrahma takes the destructive power of destruction of ignorance, then he becomes Sadguru, Guru Tattva. Then the Shakti of Guru, Durgaji becomes the Shakti of Guru. So the power of destruction, the power of Maya becomes power of Kundalini. That's why it's become Durga Dinashi. They are same. Just changes the place. Are you clear?
Actually, what is the difference between Kali and Durga? What exactly is the...
No, Kali and Durga.
From the sculptor's viewpoint, they are represented in two different things.
See, Durga.
Durga is Saumya irutte. Kali
Durga. One of the powers of Durga is called Kali. There was a Chenda and Munda, some demons. To destroy them, Durga took the form of Chamunda. Okay. And there is another, the Senadipati was there, Chenda and Munda Asura. The Senadipati name is Rakta Bijasura. Okay. To kill the Rakta Bijasura, Durga took the form of Kali. Durga is the base form. Okay. So now Durga means actually Durgati Nashi, the destruction of ignorance. So what happens in Rakta Bijasura means every drop of blood will become millions of asuras. Whereas then the desires in us, every drop of desire will become million fold. The Rakta Bijasura. The ego is the Rakta Bijasura. So every drop of that becomes so now the time, in the form of time, you mature in time, no? A lot of kicks and kickbacks. So enough kicks, given enough kicks, your gold will become that when you make a gold, no? So 1 ton of mud has to be melted and made into 1 gram of gold. So a lot of temperature and pressure applied over time, it becomes gold. So temperature and pressure applied to you, also you can bring some goodness in you. The Rakta Bijasura can be actually killed. That's called Kali. Right? So Durga is a form of worship, Kali is a form of worship. See, these are all various powers. Power of time is called Kali. Okay. Then Chanda Munda is Chanda and Munda, neck and body. Suppression of neck and body, the power of discrimination is called Chanda Munda, Chamundi.
Kali, he says Kali actually after all this thing, war was over and all. She was supposed to be this story.
Yeah.
Supposed to be so dark, everybody started making fun of her, something like that. Then she does some severe penances. Then she gets transformed into a very beautiful maiden.
No. See, you understand the stories in the light of when I told consciousness and power of consciousness. Then the story will appear very different. The story will appears to be magnificent. But when you look at the story from the point of consciousness and power of consciousness, the story will appear very different. Look at that perspective. And also what happens is, that many of the stories which are interpolations, not from original Puranas,
ಇದು ಉಪಕಥೆಗಳು.
ಉಪಕಥೆಗಳಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರೋ ಸೇರಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಅವತ್ತು ಕಥೆ ಸೇರಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
So you just continuing the story of Kali more.
Some way you continue, but then not necessarily there are Puranic stories.
Okay.
So you have to see what is Purana. In Purana it is told that also the story will be told, and then at the end of the story, the shloka which will give the meaning of the story.
Okay.
Most of the time we listen to the story but don't go into the meaning. See, here is the office. So this fellow came in there. Huh?
See, if Kali comes out of Durga, okay, that means it's a thought form of Durga.
No, I am saying the power of consciousness. Okay. So now let us say you are super smart, super intelligent. That super intelligence you can apply to create a automotive or make money in the stock market. So these are applications of that power in different ways. Kali is application in one way. The power of consciousness. As time. She is representing Kali means dark, because time cannot be seen, effect of time only can be seen.
Once the thought is there, the thought will get solidified. So this, even if you fix in the perspective of the consciousness and the energy format, this could have taken place in some dimension somewhere. This whole events, maybe exaggerated.
Only in your mind.
Only in the mind.
Mind is a mind. There is no world, there is nothing, there is no creation at the energy perspective. It appears to be so because of mind. And whatever experience becomes solidified in the mind, and that becomes your next life. Like that it continues.
So actually, when you are physically performing Kali Puja, Durga Puja, Navaratri and where exactly is the whole point of it?
The question answer depends on the questioner. For the questioner, if the questioner asks, question is first standard, the answer will be different. Middle school answer is different. High school the answer will be different. The college the answer will be different. Now you tell me which standard you are asking the question.
Primary, middle school, high school, not PhD in the
So if you are in the first standard, the Kali is the mother. Like my biological mother, she is the universal mother. Okay. So any trouble is there for me, she will come and protect me. That's why I do puja. As simple as that. Actually, we wrote an article on Kali in one of the papers, this paper. There is a Kannada paper, weekly, Bodhi Vriksha. So one of my students wrote an article about Kali, what I thought about Kali in that paper. Immediately she gets an email and phone call that for somebody person from some place got an email to her email and phone call. Kali, I want to become a Shiksha and learn Kali Puja. This person asked, why you want to learn Kali Puja? Okay, what answer will he give? I have a business associate who cheated me. I want to do worship of Kali and to destroy the person. You realize, you say a thing which happened, I'm telling you. So, okay, so there is a primary school. I want to say, no, it's also possible. Now, primary school kid and you say that college doesn't travel, you say you get confused. So, okay, Baba, you are right. Okay, so there are so many that you can see that actually whenever I go to one street, some street near Nigeria, there's one street, there's a big Kali statue, the people will be standing in queue, big to queue. Okay, they'll do some taita and this thing, and on surprise Muslims also be standing there.
Yeah.
With so many purkas and all, they want some taita. Okay, so that's also one there, fine. I would say not wrong, the kid is a kid. So next level comes. Okay, then next level person is a slightly award person who is in middle school or high school. This Kali is my mother. She is not there to destroy enemies, she is destroy enemies within. I have enemies, anger, jealousy, hatred. Okay? The mother destroys that. This is purifies me. That's next level. Some more level comes. That person says, Kali, why she should be black? Okay? She is black because she is invisible. Kali represents time. Time destroys everything. So Kali is the time, you will say. So the next level comes. Kali is time, but time has no existence other than the consciousness, Shiva. So Shiva, its power of Shiva is called Kali. So Shiva and Shakti is together. Kali is the same. Another next level comes. Then he says Shiva and Shakti are one and say there's no Kali, there's no Shiva, there's only consciousness and we become silent. So whom are you asking? Who is asking the question? Whom are you asking? That answer will be very there. This is true for any question in philosophy.
Definitely agree. But we have to also graduate step by step.
You don't have to go step by step. I'm actually giving a lift. Step by step is a long way. It's actually 20-30 story building. By the time you get tired, okay? So that's why I'm giving a lift to you. Okay, I am telling you. Okay, now you're on the ground floor. Now you can go to the 20th floor and see what's happening there. Okay. Go for coffee. Go for coffee.